Hi, my name is Andrea and I am a tennis player. I've been playing pickleball for about 1.5 years. And today we're going to be talking a little bit about forehand volleys and just adding a little bit of topspin onto it. Let's get to it. So first off, I'd like to talk a little bit about the grip. I use a continental grip and I like to close the paddle face just slightly. It helps a lot with adding topspin to it. Second is we want to have the paddle face parallel to the net, and then we're going to do a wrist movement of just brushing the ball. It's almost like a C shape what you're doing here. And if you want, you can grab a ball if you have one at home in your paddle and just try it on yourself. Just brushing the ball with a C shape just to help adding topspin. You also want to be able to push the ball as far deep into the court as possible. This makes it harder on your opponents to come up to the kitchen. You don't want them to come up. All right, so another important part is bending the knees. You want to loosen the body up, bend your knees, and lean forward slightly so that you can reach into the kitchen and then just push the ball forward in this movement. If you like this video and you want to support us, please click the like button, hit subscribe, and then follow Cliff Pickleball videos. Another thing I'd like to add, as I mentioned earlier, that bending the knees is super important, but you also want to be able to use your knees and your legs as springs. So what I mean by that is that you're bending nice and low, and then you're lifting up as you push the ball over. So just doing the knees in this movement, you're following the ball. As the ball comes down, you go down. As the ball lifts, you lift. And with the arm movement, it's basically this movement here. You see how I'm brushing the ball and I'm lifting and pushing as my legs are extending. Another thing that I'd like to mention is the difference between hitting and brushing the ball from the kitchen line versus adding topspin from the baseline over there. So come follow me. We'll go do some shots over here in the baseline. And what that looks like is here in the baseline, you want to add a little bit more of a follow through. What I mean by that is you want to impact the ball, adding topspin, and your follow through is here. You're still doing the same C-shaped movement of adding that extra topspin to your ball. And topspin is, I would say, is super important in pickleball just because the dimensions of the court aren't very big, and we want to make sure that all of our balls stay within the court. Another great way to practice this topspin volley roll is by doing this drill right here. I have 3 cones set out on the court, and what I like to do is I like to start off in one corner, and then I like to hit one forehand volley or one forehand drive down the line. I run over to this side here, and then I hit another forehand drive down this line here. After that one, I run over towards the middle of the court to hit a forehand volley. So this one is a volley. The other ones I'm letting the ball bounce. They're not volleys. Another drill that I like to practice when it comes to the topspin volley is putting 3 cones, one on the left line, one in the center line, and then all the way over there on the right side of the line. And what I do here is I bend my knees, I get into my ready position to hit that volley, and then I go ahead and hit down this line directly in front of me. I shuffle over to the middle here, and then I hit a volley down the center line, shuffle, and then hit a volley down the right side of the line. And what this does is not only are you learning how to place topspin onto your volleys, but you're also really focusing on the accuracy of your shot. You're placing your ball in the area that you want to place it in, and this is so helpful in the games. So you may be wondering why the topspin volley is so important and why adding topspin to any of your shots is so important. And I'm going to tell you a little bit why. As I mentioned earlier, we have a very small amount of room that we're working with, so we always want to make sure that our balls are going in. Why is the topspin relevant to the size of the court? What topspin does is that it propels the ball in a certain motion where it just falls down quicker. Not only is this good when it comes to making it in the court and not allowing your ball to go out, but it's also really good and it makes it very difficult for your opponents to hit that ball. In fact, you'll find that your opponents prefer to hit that ball out of the air versus letting it bounce, because the moment it bounces, it just propels even faster towards their body, making it even more difficult for them to make a good drop or hit a great drive or any of that sort. So you already have the advantage based off of the amount of spin you put on the ball, whether it's slicing it, or you can also just do the forehand topspin. So as you can see in this video, we talked a lot about the topspin volley, the forehands, driving from the baseline and adding topspin in that as well. We talked a little bit about all of these different drills that we can practice at home and at the courts that you normally play at. And we can also talk a little bit about how the pressure that it puts on the opponents and how it is so much more difficult for them to respond as well. Another thing that I'd like to mention is as you're including this into your practice, whether you're practicing at your home courts or you're practicing at a certain other place, when you are doing this, add power slowly as you proceed. Don't start adding power immediately. First, focus on control, and ball placement, and then slowly adding power onto each shot. And you'll notice that you'll start improving very, very quickly. I hope you like this video, and please subscribe to Cliff Pickleball, and I hope to see you soon. Good luck on those shots.